What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another therapy session with the Dawgs podcast. A little bit different than what we said was going to happen last week. We said no live episode this week.
Right.
I was going to be on vacation. Blake is actually out in Vegas, so that's why we got Darth Vader filling in over here in Blake's spot. But I got a sick kid, so vacation got canceled at the last minute and decided, you know what? What's better to do on this wasted vacation, rainy, shitty day here in Ohio? I don't need to be on the beach. I need to be in the studio with my boy Justin.
Yeah.
We need to be breaking down whatever that was.
Yeah, we shall talk about these things. Yes.
Yeah. I think before we do anything else, again, glad to see you guys here with us in the chat on YouTube. Thank you for joining in. Viewer discretion advised. There's going to be some language on this episode.
I'm going to try to be good.
I'm going to pull it out.
I know you will. I know you already threw the warning out. Yeah.
Justin is by far way, I mean, I dropped some words. Justin does me in pretty good. He'll curse me under the table. For sure. It's that 50% British, in me. I just can't help myself sometimes. So, so we'll see how it goes. But just, again, if you're listening to this after the fact or you got it up on the TV and there's kids running around, whatever, we are going to be, we're talking about the Browns, so you can imagine what kind of language.
They will learn new vocabulary words.
Yes, and new ways to use it. Very creative, hopefully, is what we're going to try to do here. So before we dive in, as we let the chat fill up, please, you guys, you know the drill. Please follow us on all the socials at the Dawgs Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, tap that notification bell. Continue to help us grow the channel. We really appreciate everybody who follows the show and interacts with us and just helps us continue to build this platform. And if you want more content with the Dawgs Podcast, head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member. We just got Andrew Jackson in the chat. He says therapy. Yes, sir, it is therapy. He's one of our long-standing Dog Pack members. And we do Dog Pack Discord shows every week to preview, the upcoming matchup. If you guys have been tuning in, you've heard those and seen those. So we do it with the private Discord, and there's a ton of fun. That is the therapy session during the game. We were in there all day yesterday, and everybody's just commiserating together. So make sure you guys tune into that. So head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member. Andrew says Blake looks slim and black.
Really does.
He does. Darth Vader over here looking pretty good. You got any words for us, Darth?
I could slide over there and hit one of those buttons.
Hit one of those buttons.
I'm sure it would be.
Okay, so I hope you guys can just bear with me a little bit. I'm like running controls, hosting show, so trying to do it all, but it's all good. I do have one. We got a couple voicemails we'll play. I think the very first thing I'm going to do is I want to play this because I think it's necessary.
Okay.
I think we're in big fucking trouble.
Okay, I thought that was a voicemail. Okay.
No.
I was like, oh man, this is going to be very epic and probably really tough to listen to. But yeah, that's fair. I thought that 2 games ago.
Yeah.
Heading into the Giants game, I was like, oof, we can't look like that. We cannot look like this. And there's a trend, it's there is a 4-game trend. It doesn't matter if we're home, away. There is a lot of things going wrong right now. So yeah, that is very fair.
Yes. Nicole in the chat, you nailed it. This team has no heart from the front office on down. Everyone's been a disappointment this year. Couldn't have said it better. We're going to dive into that. There's nothing from any, even like Kevin's post-game bullshit is like, we just need to get better. And we're going to get to work on that tomorrow. Fuck that. I am so sick and tired of hearing that shit, man. Like I am so fed up with what I'm seeing on the field. But before we break it all down and go a little unhinged here, let's get Brad's voicemail to kick things off.
Hey guys, what's up, Browns fan? This is Brad Moneymaker. I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking, maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. I mean, seriously, do you guys got the matches, the firewood, the gasoline, light this whole thing on fire currently? Man, like I said, we're so back. The Cleveland Clowns. We're the Clowns again. Woo! It's just all over again. This whole game, the whole game. We looked like we didn't know how to be an NFL team. The only person, maybe, that actually looked good was Deshaun for once. And the rest of the team was straight just dumpster fire. Like, If you see a dumpster on fire, that's currently what this team is right now. Currently, straight dumpster fire. I don't know what else to say. Team sucks. Woo, ready for Suckfest 2024-25. Woohoo! Let's go, guys. Woof, woof, ruff, ruff.
That sounds like a concert or something. Suckfest 24-25. That's good. So that's very fair. Everything he said there was fair. I will say, if I'm going to take some positive things, Watson, I did think looked good. You know what I mean? If there was a bright spot, I thought he looked fine. Corey continues to be a serious weapon. Corey Bojorquez might be our best player on this team.
We're on a reaction show talking about the punter.
Yes. Yep. I did think there was bright spots. I thought Miles had a pretty decent game considering he's
limited.
Both of his legs are all messed up. They were literally using quick snap just so they could keep him on the sideline. Yeah, I mean, it was rough. It was definitely rough. I also thought Jerry Jeudy, I think that he's the go-to guy.
He's wide receiver one?
Yeah. Yep. We wondered when they signed that extension, we were like, ooh, maybe that's a little bit, quick fire on that. Maybe that was a little too quick on the pull the trigger on the deal. But I thought the chemistry between those two looks great. I thought that he made some plays. So, yeah, I agree, man. It's rough right now. It's very rough. Top to bottom, there's very few bright spots. But yeah, Corey B, keep doing your thing, man. If it's not for you, man, this game is possibly a lot different.
No kidding. So I before we dive into all the bullshit and the negative, because that's really all there is, I think we just need to hover for a second over, and I forgot to throw some stuff on my screen. There we go for you guys. Yeah. I got to hover over Deshaun Watson for a little bit here, just because you brought it up. Blake said, I think, because he sent us a couple things. Yes. He said, final thought for the show. First time since he's been here that I watched the game and thought Deshaun Watson was the best offensive player on the Browns during the game. And, I ended the game going, okay, Deshaun was clearly not the problem today. He was fine. Stat line ended, it wasn't great.
No,
it wasn't blow you away stats, 176 and a touchdown. And he did not have an interception. Amari Cooper had an interception. That's bullshit. But then I went and I looked, PFF stats came out today, and I went and did some deeper digging on all those metrics and stuff. And actually, if you look at it, Deshaun Watson he kind of had an elite game.
That's right.
He actually did, because like I said, the final stat line was not overly impressive, but if you think about a couple things. So first of all, he had a 75% completion percentage, which that's terrific. 3 out of 4 throws. That's
terrific.
Brilliant. And then his adjusted, which I always harp on, 83.3, which accounts for drop passes and throwaways and things like that. Yep. 0 turnover-worthy plays.
Cool.
0 turnovers. Like I said, the interception was on Amari Cooper. He had an 82-yard touchdown pass that was called back on a bullshit penalty, which we'll get into. And he also lost 30 or more yards on Amari Cooper's drop pass for an interception.
Yep.
So if you say Amari catches that ball like, a wide receiver should, and say the 82-yard touchdown stands, which it should, Deshaun Watson's stat line was 26 of 33 for 78.8% completion, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks.
Yep.
And then the rushing yards that he stacked on top of it. That's a damn good game. That's what the Browns brought him here to do.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I after watching the game, even during the game, I was very impressed. All things considered, you know what I mean? Because I felt like the line was Swiss cheese again. They improved. I thought it got better in the second half, but the first half, I was like, Jesus, me and you could probably go out there and at least put hands on somebody. At least we're going to get knocked the fuck over, but Jesus Christ, can we put a hand on somebody? I will say this while we're talking about Watson. One of my things that I kind of I'd say I'm critical of is at times I feel like there's opportunities for him to step up and be a leader, right? Or kind of rally the troops. And, the body language isn't always great. I thought yesterday he was super engaged. Him pulling DeJuan Jones aside on the sideline after he ripped his ass. And then you even have Jameis over there talking to him. I thought that those were moments I need to see that all the time. And so I thought that was a huge step in the right direction. He did look engaged. He was moving people around. Jesus Christ, at one point he's going, hey, Ford, was it Ford?
Yeah, it was Ford. He's like, get the fuck back here.
Yeah, you're back here, bro. You're not even lying. Can you get back here? You know this guy's coming free release. Can you hit him and just at least chip him or something? So I thought he was very engaged. I liked what I saw. I mean, a lot of people are going to take away, the final drive or the opportunities where you don't cash, and obviously he was brought in to be that guy. But at the end of the day, I mean,
and that entire, the end of the game there, our last opportunity to go down to score was just completely destroyed. I mean, and to no fault of his.
Yeah.
And I like him, hate him, whatever. You cannot just look at the stats from yesterday or the way he played and say, "Oh, he was the problem." Like, no, you can't blame
if
this one on him
if you think that, you didn't watch the game.
Exactly, because the rest of this team,
yikes,
and the rest of this team,
woof.
I don't even know where to begin. I will say real quick back to the DeJuan Jones thing. Like, I know I saw some people kind of crapping on Deshaun for that, saying, "Oh, he can't be doing that stuff on the field." That's an emotional response.
Yes.
First of all, he had a guy. Like, that was going to be a good play, and he had to get rid of the ball way sooner than he was ready to because he barely got on his back foot to drop back on that throw, and the guy was already past Jones. Like, he didn't even touch him.
Right.
I mean, he ran right by him, and then he ripped him, which I thought, good, rip him. These guys, they need to know this is bullshit, unacceptable play.
I don't see the coaches doing it.
Nope.
I don't see a coach in the area going, hey, on the next drive or the next drive. I mean, we're talking, this is weeks of this. We're talking weeks and weeks of this now where it's just, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's just, and there's so many compounding factors that I'm even shocked that 3 weeks in a row we're in these games. You know what I mean? Obviously we won the Jacksonville game, but the mental mistakes, we still look sloppy. We look unprepared. Everybody, coaches involved, things are slightly cleaned up, but not really. If you go back and look at it, it's just so dysfunctional and it's almost not even I don't want to say it's not a pro team, but there's moments where I'm I feel like this would be a Blake Reneker moment where he'd go, these are basic fundamentals that I coached 8th graders on.
You mean blocking and fucking tackling?
Oh, well, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But
we have to address one side, one dysfunctional thing at a time.
You got to try to keep it a little bit ordered here.
Yeah,
but
I'm too ADD. You can't just be jumping around on me like that, dog.
I feel this is an ADD kind of response to the team, though. They just suck. And, I wore this shirt. This is our Cleveland football, whatever it fucking takes shirt from last year.
Sure.
And, that was the mentality last year. It was Kevin's mentality. It was the team. It was next man up. We were decimated across the board, and it didn't matter. This team came out with heart and fight, and it didn't matter if it was PJ Walker or DTR or Joe Flacco at the end. They came out and they fought hard, and they won most of their games because they had that willpower. And I pulled this out today thinking, I need to remind myself even that was last year because it feels like it was a long time ago. This team has fallen so far from what we had at the end of 2023. I don't even know where the problem begins.
I mean, we could list some things off. We could start with some things. One of the big things I took away from yesterday, and I don't want to jump around and get too crazy, but I have legitimate concern about what's going on with Amari Cooper.
We can talk about Amari real quick. We might as well.
Okay. Is there a voicemail or anything? I don't want to,
I'm pretty sure all the voicemails just say basically he sucks and we need to trade him, which, you know what? I'm kind of... So let me just run through some quick notes here. Amari Cooper currently leading the entire league in drops. Wonderful. He has the 5th most targets in the entire NFL, 34, and he's only caught 16 of them. That's a 47% catch percentage. Now, I know some of them are uncatchable, but still, there's a shit ton of drops in there. So I guess those are my only 2 notes, because then I moved into the bright spot of Jerry Jeudy, which you already kind of touched on. Judy's been great. Amari Cooper, I love what Amari Cooper's done while he's been in Cleveland, but right now, he sucks. He's terrible.
It's crazy. I love Amari Cooper. To me, he's like the Nick Chubb version of wide receivers. He was just go to work, and whenever they show him, he just looks dejected and just not engaged. The interception ball was couldn't have been any perfect.
You can't
hit him
place it,
literally
throw it,
in the middle of his chest. It hit him so good that it bounced straight up in the air and was picked off. I'm not sure what's going on. And I think that they need to sit down with him and say, hey, you know, what is going on? Is if it's, you know, old time catching up, that's fine. But like, he was a sure-handed receiver, one of the best. He's an elite route runner, and it's just.
I don't get it. See, I don't buy the age thing. Because 30, and you know my thing, on the age of players at certain positions. 30 is not that old for a wide receiver. Like 30 is, I would say 30 is the back end of prime.
Right, you're at the.
But it's still in that window. I think that window is kind of like 25, 26 to 30. You know, whenever you are like, if you're an elite receiver or a top end receiver, like that's whenever you are prime. And I think he's on the back end, but you still see these guys, Mike Evans, 31, you know, these guys at 31, 32 are still able to produce. And I just don't buy that the age thing is already catching up with him. He just looks completely, I've seen a lot of people post it, and I didn't want to believe it at first, but he seems checked out.
Yeah, it's fair.
He just does not, like you said, not engaged. Like he doesn't give a shit. And if you don't give a shit, then fucking go.
Right. I think I said that, and I don't know if it was in a text thread or in Discord, but, you know, like, I think they need to sit him down. And I'd love to have him on this team. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, he's one of my favorite Browns players, right? You know, for the last few years, my nephew, multiple people in my family, like kid-wise, that's their guy.
Yes.
You ask him, hey, who's your favorite football player on the Browns? Amari Cooper.
Well, your daughter calls him what? Marty?
That's
Marty
my nephew.
Cooper?
Marty Cooper.
Marty Cooper.
Marty Cooper all day. And then, you know, they obviously, that's their guy. But it's just, it's so, I don't even think it's like frustrating for me. I think it's just more like, I don't even want to say disappointing. It's just kind of like, man, what is the deal? You know, because if you don't want to be here, that's fine. But my goodness, then call up Kansas City. You know,
that's the one I've been seeing going around. And
call up, you know, hey, they just lost their wide receiver one. If you don't want to be here, I mean, at this point, I don't want to just throw in the towel in the season. I'm never going to be that guy.
Right.
But at some point, if this doesn't improve and we're sitting at 1-7 or, you know, something like that, maybe we see what we can get for a guy that's on an expiring contract. You know what I mean? They have to at least have that honest conversation because it's so up and down on a week-to-week basis. I mean, he had a nice game last week. You know, it felt like, okay, hey, whatever was going on, he put it behind him. Here we go. Let's move forward on the season. And then it's just, what was it, 4 catches, 35 yards?
Yeah, I think so. 4 on 8 targets. So I did hear a stat earlier, and I think it was something like $1.2 million of his entire $25 million or whatever is the only piece that's like not guaranteed or something like that. So the Browns have already paid for him. So trading him, like he is now an extremely attractive trade option for other teams because they're like, well, fuck, we don't have to pay the guy.
Right.
He's already paid. So we just get draft capital out of it. Like you, I'm not ready to throw in the towel in the season, but we are 1-3 and we're staring down a serious 1-5 start to this season. If you don't think so, then you haven't been watching.
This was the part of the season where we looked at and we went,
stack the wins.
Hey, let's put some wins together. And then when things get very, very tough, we have this stretch to fall back on. And at least we can, I mean, all of a sudden, hey, don't look now, but Washington, they look pretty damn good. Jaden Daniels looks pretty legit. If Gardner Minshew is kind of dicing us up, this kid is going to for real dice us up.
And all it takes is 20. All it takes is 20 points. And
might not even take that.
Well, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay.
I got another voicemail.
Okay.
Andrew Jackson has got a voicemail.
Oh,
but before I play it, I wanted to say this at the top of the show and I forgot, but I want to remind everybody out there listening, watching, I want to remind us, we just lost to the Raiders 20-16. They didn't have Devontae Adams or Max Crosby. Their two best players, their best player on each side of the ball, was not available for this game. And we knew that a couple of days in advance. It's not like it was a game time thing, like, oh shit, they're not going to be out there. We had ample time to...
Came out Friday.
We had ample time to game plan for whatever they had left at the wide receiver position or whatever. And it looked like we didn't do anything. So we can talk about that here in a second, but here's Andrew.
What's going on, guys? Game just ended 15 minutes ago. I really don't know how to feel. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like Watson played well. I feel like at times the defense played well, but majority of the time they played terrible. Amari doesn't know how to catch all of a sudden. Then all of a sudden he knows how to catch again. I don't know. I'm at a loss. I really don't know what to feel. I feel like in years past and different points of these seasons, we can be like, oh, if we fix this, we fix that, hey, we're going to be good. We'll be fine. That's all we need. But right now, I don't know. I'm dejected. I'm defeated. I'm just lost. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to feel. I don't know. But I do know that I'm going to go back and pour up some more Kentucky brown water and drown my sorrows. Love you guys.
We'll love you too, dog.
Absolutely. I wanted to comment on Darius here in the chat. Says the defense could not stop the Raiders from running the football. The Raiders ran for over 100 yards. Actually, would you like a stat?
I have a good stat too, but you probably
the
have
Raiders
the same stat.
ran for 152, or depends on where you check, 153 yards
Correct,
yesterday.
Yes.
And guess how many yards they had through the first 3 games combined?
I saw 153 yards through the first 3 games, and then they put up 152 on us yesterday.
That would be correct, Mr. Charles.
Yes.
So the Browns let the Raiders match their season high, their season total, in one fucking game. They were 51 yards per game on the ground coming in. They were the worst. 32 out of 32. They were the worst team in the NFL at running the ball, and they carved us up.
It's tough, right? I think the biggest thing that really kind of broke me yesterday was I thought last year we kind of thought, hey, maybe any running back that we line up against, we weren't going to get gashed anymore, at least. You know what I mean? Yep. Like we could at least go, hey, we can shut down their running back, and then, we have corners that can cover well, and, we can get pressure. On defense, other than Miles yesterday, any pressure at all? I have to go back and watch. Like we'll go back and look at stuff because right now there's no all 22 out and stuff like that. But do you have pressure numbers? I'd love to hear that.
I do. Let me see. It was kind of in correlation with what the Raiders did. So the Raiders brought pressure on 27 plays.
Okay.
Our offensive line allowed 16 pressures on those 27 times that they brought it. 10 hurries, 4 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks. The sacks were on Zinter and Fat Thanos. The Browns brought pressure on just 10 plays. And the Raiders allowed 9 pressures on those 10. And we only got 1 sack. So every time we brought pressure, they let us. They gave up that pressure. And I don't understand why we only did it 10 times. Myles Garrett had 5 of them.
Yeah.
He had half of our pressures.
I thought Myles had a nice game.
He did.
I will say this. Minshew is very good at getting the ball out quickly. You know what I mean? The ball was coming out pretty quick. The other thing that is super concerning is all of a sudden we don't know how to tackle.
Oh my God.
How many ankle tackles? There was one play with Madison where I swear to God, he breaks 2 or 3 tackles, and then there's 2 guys on his back and he's running up the field. We still struggle with any motion. They ran a jet sweep for a touchdown yesterday. They ran a reversal for a touchdown. Now, Trey Tucker, anybody, if you're aware of this dude in fantasy, he's good. He was a Mr. Ohio. He's a speedster. He runs a 4.4. He's very good. Aaron Butler, good to see you crawled back out after they won. I called that right before we went on.
Yes, you did.
Good to see you, brother. But the tackling, it was inexcusable. I saw you sent something. You're like, hey, there was 11 missed tackles on run plays. I said, well, Jesus, how many was there on the pass plays?
More than that.
Okay, hit me with the numbers. Yes, please.
So
please.
I was reading an article. It's from Next Gen Stats last night, and this one just, I don't know. It had me feeling a whole lot of pissed off about our defense. The Browns allowed 99 rushing yards on 20 missed tackles. It's the most by any defense in a single game this season. And not only that, but you just brought it up. The Raiders are now the first team since 2009 to have 2 wide receivers score a rushing touchdown in the same game.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah. That's the Browns, you know.
Has anybody ever heard of
everybody
DJ
else set
Turner
records.
heading into this game?
Not a fucking clue.
Right.
Nope.
Cool. Me either, bro. But I mean, I guess that's what happens when, your best player goes out and you got to bring, I don't even know if he's on the roster. I guess, I feel
the Las Vegas Raiders had 7 runs of 10 or more yards, 5 that were 15 or more. How many did the Browns have?
One. Fords, 35, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Woof. Woof, woof, woof. Another thing on defense that makes me very concerned, and he's a guy I like a lot. I think he has a lot of upside, but
he sucks right now.
What is Emerson doing?
It's the second time he's been the worst graded player on defense.
I don't want to say awareness, but if it's third and 5 and you're playing 14 yards off of the receiver, I just don't get it. And then that even makes me more upset because not only did it happen there, but then it happened again. Almost, I think the next play, somebody needs to bring him over and say, hey, dude, you're playing way too far off. Jam this fucking guy at the line. What are we doing? I just, I don't know.
So like I said, Emerson, it's like you're not wrong. Emerson, he was the worst graded corner again, 34.6 grade, pathetic. Denzel Ward actually also had a rough game. He allowed 4 catches on 7 targets for 53 yards. Most of those were to Jacoby Myers. Apparently he just can't handle Jacoby Myers. Imagine if Devontae Adams was playing yesterday. He'd had, Gardner Minshew had 130 yards. That's all it took to beat us because they were running all over the place.
Getting a lot of.
Don't forget the Brock Bowers jet sweep, fucking tight end. Yes, yeah. Andrew Jackson. Thanks for reminding us. He's also very good. Come on, got to give him a little bit of credit, but still, come on, Browns. Let's see, what else did I have? So Minshew only had 130 yards. 90 of those yards came against Martin Emerson and Denzel Ward.
It's tough. It's tough.
As you can tell, we're just. Look, show everybody your notes. This is what Justin does during the game, right?
No.
Oh, this is after?
Oh, I got off work today. And, my kids, they wanted to put their Halloween costumes on because we got Halloween costumes over the weekend. So Wonder Woman was running around and Rapunzel was running around. And I just sat down and I just kind of just started thinking of things that were hitting me. And I have just pages of it's almost, I said in a joke that if my wife found these, she would think that I was mentally unstable because it's rush game attack, non-existent. A lot of swearing here. Oh, Watson looked good. Game plan is boring, vanilla, predictable. Yep. Oh, Posey got hurt on an extra point. Line play still awful. Hudson, Jones, Zinter, struggle.
Oh, yeah. So Posey gets hurt on extra point. Nick Harris has to come in to play center.
Oh, okay. We're going down that road. Okay.
So I guess the first row we'll go down real quick with Nick Harris is the holding call that called back the 82-yard touchdown to Amari Cooper was bullshit. Fuck you, NFL officiating. You guys are a bunch of fucking assholes. Myles Garrett watch any of his rushes yesterday. Arm around his throat, coming at the quarterback every time, never gets called. Nick Harris, textbook blocks a guy. He's got his hands inside the pads. That's what you're coached to do.
Yeah.
Right there. They just grab them titties. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I listened to so many people talk about this, and everybody was saying if this is what's going to get called holding in the NFL,
every play,
we're screwed. Like the NFL's screwed. You can't run a play because this happens. Right. This is how they block.
Right.
You can't call that. That is inexcusable in the officiating. But what else is inexcusable is at a crucial time in the game, we're trying to score because, lo and behold, we missed a fucking extra point. So now we're down by 4. We can't just kick it to go to OT. We got to score a touchdown.
Yep.
And it's 1st and 10.
1st and 10, yeah.
And we're where were we at?
Very close.
The 12 or something?
Yeah,
we were in the red zone.
We're in the red zone.
And we're getting ready. Watson's going through his, pre-snap reads and everything, looking around, and Nick Harris snaps the fucking ball.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes. God. It's cool, bro. Don't worry. Get it out, man. I get it, dude. I got it out during the game. But
I had to watch the game yesterday with my wife and a sick kid, so the whole time I'm like,
I did not keep it in at all. I let it loose. For a team that struggled to convert, first downs and just get 10 yards sometimes, starting off a crucial series, basically, where you're there. Like, this is do or die. This is the game, basically. And the ball, what the crazy thing is, that it was coming out of a timeout, correct? Coming out of a TV timeout.
Yeah.
So you have time to figure it all out.
Because it was 2-minute warning, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And then so we just immediately were behind the sticks. The thing that we talk about, like we used to get frustrated about penalties and stuff like that. The penalties, don't get me wrong, there was huge ones. Like they were just costly big ones when they did hit, like, the hold on Harris and everything. But like, so you got to get 10 yards here. You know what I mean? You have 10 minutes, you have 2 minutes, you have all your timeouts, you got to get 10 yards, and at least you get those 10 yards, you're there. You're at the 2, who knows what happens, and you just put yourself behind the sticks. You're at 2nd and 16. So obviously, you know what's coming. So we're pretty much throwing the next 3-4 plays, depending on what happens. And yeah, ball gets tipped on 2nd down, 3rd down comes around. Amari made a nice play, got 13 yards back, and then just 4th and 3, and game's on the line, and just the blind optimist in me, I'm sitting there and I'm like borderline like having a heart attack, like heart's in the throat. I'm like tapping on my little bar thing in the kitchen because I can't just chill out because I've been here my whole life. And the thing that makes me sad about like these moments this year is like last year, these were moments like I felt like
we got this.
I didn't even feel like nervous, like all that like scared energy. I would just be like, hell yeah, let's go. Like we're going to go win this game. I don't feel like that this year. This year, I just am like, I'm like, okay, like I've seen us try to do this a lot already. And it just.
So what are we doing on that 4th down?
So me and you have kind of talked about this. I mean, we might have differing opinions on things.
So what? We only had the one timeout left, right?
No, we had all of them.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All of our fucking timeouts.
That's right. So we go out and we're like trying to get them to jump off sides.
Correct.
So we come out and it's like, okay, we're lining up on this 4th down play.
Love you too, dog.
But they put Deshaun Watson under center on 4th and 3, game on the line, and I'm like, well, that's not fooling anybody. Like they're obviously just running this down, and like if I was a defense, I'd just be out there doing backflips. Like, they're not running a play here. Like you're not tricking anybody. This offense, the whole thing is broken. It's stupid. It is entirely stupid. Like it is the dumbest, worst offense in the entire league. And then so then we had call timeout.
That's so, and then me. I think this is where me and you might see it differently, but like you have all your timeouts. So like even if you like screw this up, you can at least stop them and at least hope for a miracle again, which I don't know if
wasn't going to happen. But it's
fair. But then you burn the timeout and then it's game over. Then it's
I see what you're saying.
I don't understand why. I don't know. It's just frustrating. And I know a lot of people will freeze the play and go, look, this guy's open and this guy's open. Zinter doesn't even put barely a hand on anybody.
No.
Watson's flushed out. As soon as he got flushed out, I was like, shit, it's over.
I think it was Jake Burns maybe on Twitter, which, he does all the play breakdowns and
Jake
stuff.
Burns
And I love his
Yes.
analysis. And he was talking about, first of all, it's 4th and 3 and all the routes went to the end zone.
Yeah.
The fuck are we doing?
Right.
Like, you don't need the touchdown here. You need 3 yards.
Yeah.
You got like a minute and a half left in the game. What are you doing? And then the fact that they ran everything was to the left side, to the short side, which is Deshaun's, not his dominant throwing side. So now if he has to roll out, he's rolling out and has to kind of like twist his body to make any sort of throw. And you're right, the pressure was immediate, just like it has been all game.
The field is basically, there's nothing then.
Yeah, it's not like we cut it in half. We cut it into like a fourth.
Correct. Yes.
And of course he gets sacked. I mean, there's nothing he can do there. I mean, I know I see people like throw it up, just at least you have a prayer. He was trying to, first of all, he's trying to make a play. It's like the pressure. I mean, like you said, nobody's blocking anybody. Our offensive line. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go back and find this play because while we watched it live, so the big thing that I didn't want to see was I was just like, I don't want to see us spread the ball out with just 5 random offensive linemen and just pressures getting through all day. There was a play. We had our linemen. We had a tight end. We might have had 2 tight ends in because there was 7 guys blocking. They sent 5 3 guys came through completely, basically untouched and sacked Watson in like 2.5 seconds. And I just looked at my wife and I said, how the fuck does that happen? Like, how does that happen where, I don't know. To me, I'm just, and like, that's another thing. I'm just a fan. I'm not I'm not an X's and O's, guys. I don't sit and I'm not trying to be the play caller for the Browns. But when I see something like that, I go, there has to be like, we can't chip. We can't do anything. I mean, and I will say this. If we can get David Njoku back on the field, at least I'm very, very certain that man can block. You know what I mean?
Then we don't get him as a weapon.
As a weapon. That's fair. It's completely fair.
But we do need him to block. Yes.
But
so one thing that I see a lot, and obviously everybody's an expert on Twitter and everything, and they want to do the freeze frame thing and say, look, this guy was open, this guy was open, this guy was open. But what people don't understand is when you drop back to pass, like you said, like 3 guys come through untouched. As soon as you get, say you get immediate pressure and you're looking for your read off to your left side and you get pressure from that side, you immediately turn because now it's like that side's out. Like I have to move this way to avoid the pressure. And even if there's a guy wide open over here, doesn't matter. He's out of the fucking play. That route is toast.
Yep.
Because this guy on the backside could not hold the block or whatever. So
I'd be curious to, and this is going to be like some next gen stats, but how many throws did Watson get to actually throw where he was able to plant and actually throw the ball, not
stay on his feet after the throw?
Oh my God.
There was a play, and I posted it on our Twitter, so go check it out if you want to see that. But DeJuan Jones, I mean, the defender rushes, he comes right through, and both him and Bitonio kind of chips him, and then he's got a man on this side to block. DeJuan Jones stands there. He's out here blocking air. There's nobody out here. Turns around and watches this guy run right by him. And Deshaun, I mean, that guy's coming straight at his face. Deshaun steps into the defender, throws the ball to Judy for a completion, but gets demolished on the throw. And I saw that over and over yesterday where he's just getting lit up. So, yeah, I think on the broadcast, if you watched, you could visibly see he was frustrated.
Sure.
But that was he wants to win. Like, he doesn't want to be out there getting knocked down every play because his guys can't do their job.
But I don't think it affected his play. But that was like that's the thing.
He
for
played
me yesterday.
very well.
I was like, he was able to still be composed and make plays, and I don't know, guys. It's very, very concerning. There is a lot to be concerned about. I mean, if I can be positive for a second. Because I want to be positive.
We should probably interject a little positivity here and there.
If I can be positive, and I know some people are going to turn this into a negative, but the fact that we can get like 2 heart and soul guys back in the next, let's say 3 weeks with Chief and Nick Chubb, I don't know if it'll matter. I was talking to a guy yesterday and I was like, he's like, Nick Chubb's coming back, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Nick Chubb, I love Nick Chubb. These plays where Ford is getting blown up in the backfield for -1 or just 0 yards, I think Nick Chubb can make those 2-3 yard games. But I like the way things are going as far as like the line and everything. There has to be improvements. There has got to be adjustments, whether it's strategic, whether it's personnel. I don't even know like the health status wise on like Jack Conklin. I don't know, he got hurt in a walkthrough and it's a hammy. So how many weeks is that?
Yeah.
Wills, I'm not sure about, if we could get some type of health back on the line and we're talking about, we had Harris, he was going to be, the fullback kind of, that was completely taken out almost immediately because Posick went down and Posick came back for a second. And then I think he went right back out again. But it's just...
Yeah, I haven't seen an update on him yet today.
You got Teller's going to be out for at least 3 more games.
Yep. Bitonio's old.
Yeah. Yeah, Bitonio does look old.
And, we... Obviously, if you guys watch the show, we're big Andrew Berry fans. We're big Kevin fans. We'll talk about Kevin and the whole situation here in a second and everything. I know you guys want to talk about it. But Andrew Berry... Fuck you for making James Hudson be our left tackle right now. I'm tough. That guy can. We've said it since before the season. He really can't. He shouldn't be on an NFL roster. He should not be starting on any offensive line. I don't think he he can't play in the Canadian League. Like, he can't play. He can't play. He is awful. And DeJuan Jones, I'm sorry, but
major regression.
And this goes back to comments that we had in the chat here before the episode started. Like, where's the accountability?
Right.
Where's the accountability? We've seen these stupid, and you talked about before we started, the mental mistakes. Oh my gosh.
And costly.
Yes, absolutely. And in critical moments. And are they not working on these things? Is there no, like, are they not having sit downs with anybody during the week? I have no idea what's going on, but this is not the team we had last year. This is not the way it was coached. And I think it was a huge mistake now to fire all of that offensive staff. The only one we kept was Chad O'Shea, who's over one of the position groups that's doing the worst in the wide receivers.
Right, fair.
I mean, Andy Dickerson, I do have to give like a little bit of benefit of the doubt just because he's dealing with a whole bunch of shitty players right now, backups, injured tackles who can't be healthy, old guys, and all that kind of stuff.
Guys.
But it's the penalties. It's not knowing where there's, their assignments, missing blocks. Like, this is on you too, Dickerson.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Nicole, she said AB neglected the O-line. 100%. You're 100% right. We were talking about it earlier, and it's very easy 6 months later to go, hey.
Shoulda. Yeah.
Shoulda. But how much are we missing that second round pick, whether it could have been addressed as a tackle or a guard or a wide receiver or, and it sucks because hindsight's 2020. Mike Hall hasn't played a game for us.
And he's probably not going to for a while.
Long time. I would expect him on the exempt list at least until everything is figured out. And then once everything's figured out, I would expect like a suspension right on top of that.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, it's just very tough. Some of the, in defense of like the line and stuff, they were calling up guys off the practice squad. I was talking to a buddy and I just said, I've never heard of like these guys. Like, obviously, like we know Fady and stuff like that, but like they named a guy and I was just like, I have never heard of this dude in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Didn't even know he was on our practice squad, so,
yeah, man, I know. And
it's tough.
I feel like
it's very tough.
We've been trying to do I guess we've been trying to keep things kind of orderly here, but I think we are still kind of getting a little all over the place, which is fine. It's hard not to. What?
Jack says Hall's case has been final. So
yeah, it was a reduced misdemeanor charge or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
He pleaded no contest or whatever. But
I mean, that's not good for.
I don't know how these things work. Now they have to wait for sentencing or what? Or he was sentenced with I think it was jail time in there. I don't remember. You guys drop it in the chat if you know the truth of that. But let's play Devontae's voicemail real quick.
This is Devontae. The Browns just lost to literally one of the worst teams in the NFL. They got carved up by Gardner Minshew. The week before it was Daniel Jones. I can go out there and put 200 on these guys. This is ridiculous. Jim Schwartz, you're fired. The defensive line coach, you're fired. The linebacker coach, you're fired. There's no interceptions. No interceptions this year from the Cleveland Browns. 0. Defensive back coach, you're fired. This is pathetic. Kevin Stefanski. The first scripted plays, you are awesome. You really know how they say, stick to the script. But then after that, you're just lost in the sauce, my guy. You're lost in Lake Erie. And I don't know what to do to get you out of it. Like, I don't care if you're two-time head coach of the year. I really, 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 really don't. That does nothing for us right now in this season. You're horrible. I'm looking at Kevin. I'm looking at Jim. I'm looking at Ken.
Yes. So Pee-wee's Burnt Pizza in the chat says, but how can you blame Dorsey? So first of all, here's a stat that I thought would be fun for everybody. And unless I was mistaken, I missed one in this, but the Browns did not convert a third down after their first drive all the way to the last drive.
Correct.
So no first down or third down conversions in the game. Like the first drive, cool. The very last drive, converted. Everything in between, nothing. We hit third down, it was a punt.
Yep.
Pathetic.
Yeah. I know going into this game, we made an emphasis, and we were like, we got to get back to running the ball. At least keep them honest, right? Got to keep them honest a little bit, just a tiny bit, because, you can't just throw the ball every play. By the way, Andrew Jackson, Jeff Swan, and Whitehard were those two tight ends. But I had
Blake Whitehard.
Blake Whitehard, there you go. I had never heard of that dude that caught the touchdown heading into yesterday. But what were we talking about? Oh, the running game. Okay.
Yeah, the running game.
So this was a team that was giving up a lot of rush yards, right?
Yep.
So we were like, okay, cool. Hey, let's get Foreman. Let's kind of smash, do that Kareem Hunt kind of Nick Chubb thing. Obviously, those are different guys, but let me just read off a couple of these numbers here.
Oh yeah, read them.
All right. So if you take out Watson's 32 scramble yards, okay?
Yeah.
And you take out Jerome Ford's 35-yard run on that final drive, we ran the ball 13 times for 25 yards. That breaks down to 1.9 yards a carry. Don't run the ball then, I guess. Jesus, I guess I get it now, but
That's so bad, man. It's so pathetic. And what?
I'm not fooled with play action. I'm not fooled by it.
And this is why you see the teams' defenses against us. The Raiders yesterday, 27 times they brought pressure, where we only brought pressure 10 times against them. And we ran about the same amount of plays on offense, both teams. So it's not like the opportunities were a huge differential. They're about the same. Yeah. They bring 27 pressures during that game because they know they can. There's no threat of running the ball. And they're like, well, fuck, the receivers can't catch. So shit, blitz them.
Yeah.
And it works. The offensive linemen aren't going to hold anything. They can't block air. It's pathetic. So let's get back to Dorsey. Why maybe we can have this discussion, because you're seeing it all across Browns Nation right now. Fire Kevin Stefanski. Fire him. He's done. Like he's terrible. And then you said he needs to give up play calling to Dorsey.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like, I guess that would be your initial solution to trying to at least fix
I would
the problem.
say here's my thing, and I could be completely wrong here. This is just me, fan perspective, saying what we're doing right now outside of that first drive on every game, the scripted drive, is not working.
No.
It is boring. It's predictable. It's super vanilla. When we do get decent yards, we hold somebody and we go back to first and 20 or some garbage like that. So my thing is, and another thing with let Ken, if you're going to we start this whole new offense, right? We get rid of everybody. Stump, you got to go. All these guys, we got rid of them. We're starting over. Why can't we just let the guy, we're rolling out his offense, correct? Why can't we just let him do the play calling? And if it sucks for 2 or 3 more games, well then, hey, it sucks. We're a crappy football team this year, I guess. But I know what I'm seeing is, it's not it. Something has to change, and I don't know what that change is. And there's a reason I'm not paid to make those decisions. But
so
I
hear what you're saying, and it goes to what Pee Wee's saying in the chat. He says, serious question, would Stefanski be happy with being 4-0 but not calling plays, or would he rather be 1-3 but he gets to call plays? And I'm leaning towards he'd rather be 1-3 while calling plays. I think that this goes back to stuff that we kind of debunked last year and everything too. Like this Kevin Stefanski ego, like he has to call plays. Listen, I know that when we watch the games on Sundays, that's what we see. They show Kevin Stefanski. That's it. They show the offense or the head coach the entire game on the sidelines. We know he's calling plays and all of that. So that's where a lot of this comes from. But my solution is what I've been saying now for 2.5 weeks. We've got to get rid of Ken Dorsey. I know you're saying, well, give him the play calls and let him go about that. My solution is just get rid of him.
Just martyr him.
Just get rid of him. Because first of all, Kevin's not giving a play calling. I don't think.
I don't think so
and
either.
Second, it's not so much the play calling, it's the offense that's being called. And I think what we don't see is that, this team, this offensive staff Ken Dorsey is heavily involved in the scheming, the preparation, the scouting, the design, the game planning all week long. And that game plan and the scheming and everything that he's doing all week, I mean, he's working on it all week. He's just calling the plays on Sunday, but it is, as far as we know, Ken Dorsey's offense, and it is ass trash. It's terrible.
It is bad.
It's liquid diarrhea, and we need to get it out of here because we saw Kevin Stefanski call plays last year, okay?
Yeah.
Guys, please don't forget, he called plays last year, and we won games. He game planned, he schemed, and we beat the 49ers with PJ Walker. We beat the Steelers with DTR. Like, we put out some really nice game plans with Kevin Stefanski's offense.
Yeah.
I think we just need to get back to his offense, get back to him calling his plays that he knows, and just this Ken Dorsey thing. We thought it was a mistake. Our initial reaction was it was a mistake, like Blake said last week. We talked ourselves into why it was a good move and all this other bullshit. We shouldn't have done that. We thought it was a mistake from the beginning, and it was a mistake.
I think it could be very telling. I'm not sure that they fire anybody, right?
I don't think so either.
I don't think they fire anybody, but I do think it'll be very telling in the next, let's say we don't win a game the next, I mean, we might not. I mean, Washington, Philly, and then Bengals, I'm not sure. Who knows? We might not win another game, in that stretch. I would say if they came out and they fired Dorsey, that would be a message to me, like, okay, they want to get away from that. They obviously think that he's part of the problem, but then I don't know. I'm not in the locker room. You know what I mean? Right. I'm not in those meetings. Who knows, how it's brought up, but obviously they're sitting down, they're in the room together, and
yeah. So the thing for me is we kind of, you got to be, I'll be critical of Kevin. I mean, we've seen him do this kind of dumb shit before. How many years? It was years that we called, frustrated. Get rid of Joe Woods. The defense sucks, and he's the problem. Well, Kevin stayed pat, kept Joe Woods, and it held the team back in a lot of instances because the offense, remember with like Jacoby Brissett, the offense was humming at times. Mm-hmm. And then we go and we play the practice squad guy from the Falcons, and he runs all over us.
Mike Glennon. Oh, okay.
Well, the running back. I don't remember who it was. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it was because he's not even probably playing anymore. So I feel like the longer he keeps Dorsey here, just expect the same. Just expect that if they're not making any changes, it's going to be the same thing every week. So far it has been, and I don't see any reason why it's going to change.
My thing, and I don't think Haslam will be quick to pull the trigger on like firings and stuff like that, but like he can't come out of pocket for this roster over and over and over, and then this is the product. This is this. So, and I'm not a fire Kevin guy. I'm not a fire Andrew Berry guy. But at the end of the day, if the product is garbage and it continues to be garbage and we don't make adjustments and we keep coming out, it's the same story every week. We come out, we don't look like we want to be there. It looks like we've been in Vegas, but all season, you know what I mean? Yep. It's like we just hung out all night, and then it's at so many levels. Like, I feel like even the coaching, you know what I mean? Just execution. Like if me and you can sit here and go, these are problems.
Yes.
We should address these should be getting addressed during the week. And then we see it week to week to week. And it doesn't matter if we're in Cleveland or if we're in LA or Vegas or in a rainstorm in Jacksonville. It just is dog shit. Something has to give. And I worry that, we thought for a long time, hey, maybe we found our coach for the future. You know what I mean? This is a two-time coach of the year, but this feels very dysfunctional to me, which I thought, man, we've got away from this. You know what I mean? Like, we've gotten away from the dysfunctional and like, oh, we have to fire, or we have to go to a different quarterback, or I thought we got away from that. And I feel like this season is just like, we're right back in it again. It's like,
if I was Jimmy Haslam, and I don't know how they handle this kind of stuff, but I'm sitting there and I'm watching this on Sunday and I'm saying, I spend more fucking cash on this roster than any other team in this damn league. And I am the worst team. That is like, I don't think there's any argument. The Browns are the worst team in the league right now. Like, I don't see any. I watched most of the games yesterday, at least parts of them. I didn't see any other team that looked as bad as the Browns on the field. Like, the Browns' product on the field is terrible for what the roster they have.
Yeah,
I know there's injured guys and the line isn't great. We don't have like top end receivers, all that kind of stuff. Okay, I get it, but still the roster's good. Like, it's not 1-3, in my opinion. So if I'm Jimmy Haslam, I've got Andrew Berry and I've got Kevin Stefanski in my office. I'd be immediately after the game, 8 a.m. I want you guys.
We're gonna talk,
yeah. And that's it. And honestly, I don't even know if I bring them in together. I might bring them in one at a time and just look at them and say, "What's the problem?
What's going on?"
And then you tell me right now what the problem is. And if you don't have it fixed by Sunday at 1:00, the next Monday's meeting is not going to be so nice.
And it is. I completely get what you're saying, dude. The crazy thing for me is we're 4 weeks in. You know what I mean? Like, I think there has to be patience, and I'll be patient as a fan. I'm okay with it. You know, like, at this point, my expectations have been very, very tapered. You know, like, I don't know how
Okay, wait. How patient do you want to be? I have a chart. I have a chart for you.
A chart?
I have a chart.
Very nice.
This chart is your percentage chances, probability of making the playoffs based on your record.
14%.
Okay. Well, you've seen the chart.
I've seen this chart.
So, yes, at 1-3, according to this chart, it's 21. But this is a very standard, like, breakdown. Yeah. Based on, I think it was since 2012. Since 2012, the stat is like 13-14%.
I'll be honest. We can't talk about playoffs.
No,
we cannot.
No, that's why I'm saying the patience thing for me is like, especially if I'm like ownership, I'm not patient. Like, your playoff probability for this team, which was expected to make the playoffs,
right?
It's not like it just gets lower each week. It's not like it's even just cut in half. Like, it is dramatically lowered every time you go out there and drop a shit egg like that.
Yep. I mean, there's 6 teams that don't make the playoffs year to year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They made it the year before. My thing is, I think that we have to stop talking about playoffs and expectations. I think that this team needs to just get back to, like, just one game at a time and not drink their own Kool-Aids and read their paper clippings and stuff like that. I think that it just needs to get back to business. If we're not fundamentally sound, go back to being fundamentally sound. You know what I mean? If we can't tackle, we're tackling all damn day. That's what we're doing. We're tackling and we're tackling. Obviously, like, there's things that you can take away from that film, but man, there's a lot of things if I'm a coach going, hey, we can't do this. We can't do this. This is Alexander Madison shouldn't run through 6 guys and drag 2 more.
I'm with you.
I
see way too many shoulder tackles. At what level of football, from, you know, Pee-wee all the way to the pros, do they quit teaching you to hit and wrap?
Yep.
It blows my mind. And I understand the speed of the game is very fast. It's very fast. But where does that, like, that fundamental mechanics of football just disappear?
How many shoestring missed tackles did you see yesterday? Because I can think of about
a ton.
8, maybe on like 3 plays. It's just,
B Skrills in the chat. Yes, I know the Jaguars are 0-4, but I'm telling you right now, that's a team that they're close to winning a couple games, and right now the Browns are not.
We did beat that team.
We did beat that team, but I'm telling you, right, it doesn't. All right, so let's just look ahead real quick. I've been talking to people about this. So we have the Commanders coming up. They're hot.
Yeah,
they are playing well. Hot right now.
He's fun to watch.
Yes.
Yep.
And we're going to their place to play, so it's away. And our offense averages 14.5 points a game so far this season. They just dropped 42 on the Cardinals.
It's not going to be enough.
On the road. I don't think we beat the Commanders. And then the Philadelphia Eagles come up after that off of their bye week, and they will probably have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith back.
I would think so.
I'm sorry. Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker?
Mr. Ohio.
Is it Trey Turner? Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker.
I don't even know his name. Trey Tucker.
I know his name.
Torched us yesterday. I'm pretty sure A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are going to have a field day with this defense.
What about Saquon?
Oh,
did we not even think about that aspect of it?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Saquon's going to kill us.
You're
right. They won't even have to throw.
What I will say is, and I'm just back to, let's just take this week to week.
All right.
Let's focus on Washington before we get too far down the road. But you're right, bro. You are 100% right. This can get very ugly very quickly. Things have to change. And things have to change like we have to be in meetings all day today. We got to be... Today can't be a day off. And we got to be having meetings on the plane on the way home, talking about things.
The Browns coaching staff needs to find a way to quickly unpussify this team.
And inspire them.
Yes.
Inspire them. It's
the softest candy-ass team I've seen in a long time. I mean, yeah. So we've got one voicemail left. This one's from Jonathan. We saved it for last because he actually sent us a positive voicemail.
Is it Jonathan Nye?
No, no, there was no reference to ball fondling or anything. So no, it's not John Nye. It is Jonathan. So I'm going to play that in the chat. If there's anything else that you guys want us to touch on from the game, the missed extra point or whatever, stuff that we haven't gotten to because there's just so much shit to talk about, drop it in there. We'll try to hit it real quick before we wrap up. But here's Jonathan.
Well, hot dang, Browns fans. That was not fun to watch. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. This is Jonathan in Columbus, and I'm going to try and be positive. So despite what I just said, I'm going to throw a few things out there that are good, all right? A few rays of sunshine. All right, so here's one. Positive thing number one. We got a lot of games left, and that means we got a lot of time to sort out all the things that we need to. So there's still time to get to the end of the rainbow and be like, we're going to the Super Bowl. So there's still hope. If any of you are even thinking of uttering the phrase like there's always next year, shut it. We got a lot of time. I don't want to hear it. Number two, I'm not as worried about Deshaun now for at least a couple games because we have so many other problems. Looking at you, O-line. Three, you know what? We got this show, and I appreciate you guys. I'm sure as everyone else is. We appreciate you doing the podcast, and so we're all listening because we like what you're doing. We appreciate it, and now I'm out of positivity. So what else do you guys got? What can we be hopeful about for the remaining season? Go Browns!
Me and Jonathan might be like long lost friends.
Yeah,
I like that.
Soul brothers.
Yeah.
So shout out to Lee Shelko from Hawaii. I love having you in here, Lee. He says, aloha, dogs. Do you think Deshaun Watson has lost the locker room? I'm going to go back to what I harped on earlier. I think Ken Dorsey's lost this locker room, or at least on the offensive side of the ball, because I'm telling you right now, we saw it week one. We saw it up there in Cleveland against Dallas. I mean, Amari Cooper's rolling his eyes in the huddle. Like, fuck, are you serious? This play's not going to work. Yeah. And then now you're like yesterday, I saw Deshaun Watson walk into the huddle multiple times yesterday on the broadcast, just like, head back, eyes rolled, like, are you fucking kidding me? And I don't think it is player to player necessarily. I don't think these guys are, it's not like he's lost the locker room. It's not like they don't believe in him or whatever. Like, you saw him go right over to DeJuan Jones after he ripped his ass. You talked about this. Got his arms around him, patting him on the chest pad, talking in his ear, like just, bringing him back up like, hey, man, look, I know I ripped your ass, but you got to do this. You got to do this. We got
I need
this.
you. Yeah.
And I know you can do it. You did it. I don't know what he's saying to him, but you see that leadership. So this kind of like these guys know when they suck ass, and DeJuan Jones knows he's not playing well, and Deshaun's over there getting him going. I think that it's the whole game plan. Like we saw it with the defense back when Joe Woods was here. They did not believe in the defense that was being called. You saw these guys quit on the field. I remember John Johnson at times just being like, fuck, I'm not even going to cover this guy. Just go.
Myles Garrett would go to the press conference and just be like, I don't know what we're doing. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and so I don't think it's necessarily a player losing the locker room. This coaching staff has got to be careful. They got to tread lightly because they are very close to fucking this thing up very far beyond all repair. Yeah, and it kind of already is.
Yeah. No, I mean... That's very fair. It's rough.
Devontae, is it time to see more of Tillman and Thrash? If they decide to trade Amari, which at this point I saw somebody posted that question on Twitter, and somebody responded with Amari's Instagram thing and said, "Law, I wouldn't mind at all." I thought that was cool. That was pretty funny. I see a lot of people are still okay. Pee Wee, thank you. Watson stats would have been 297 and 2 touchdowns, no picks. Absolutely. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. Anybody who's still in the chat talking about Deshaun Watson not being able to play well or what, you guys didn't watch the game yesterday.
That's fair.
He was the only one who came prepared yesterday. Looked like he was ready to win that game.
Offensively, yeah.
Yeah, offensively. On defense, I don't know. Miles. Yeah. I mean,
JOK, look.
JOK, I think he still missed a tackle at one point. Like, it's like, dude, I don't know. I'm sick of it. I'm just so.
Corey B. We got Corey.
We are back on the hype up the punter train because the rest of this
Get that
team,
man an award.
All right. So appreciate you guys being here in the chat. I think we'll wrap it up. Is there anything less?
Listen, I'm just going to keep just rooting for this team, but it's very tough. It's very, very tough. And, on to Washington.
There was a moment yesterday when I forget, it was Alex Wright or Isaiah McGuire caused the fumble, punched that ball out, and McLeod scooped it and scored it. And I thought, wow, we're going to make a run at this. Like,
we're going to do this.
For as bad as we've looked and for as bad as we've played, a team that we should be well ahead of here.
Yes.
We're at least going to get the win, work on some things, and we get to talk about what they need to work on after a win.
It's very easy.
And
a lot easier.
Hopkins missed the extra point, and I did. I looked at my wife. I said, "They're not going to win. Like they just lost. They just lost."
And it wasn't. We talked about it. That wasn't like a complete. That's
no. There's no one play to blame.
Right. There was multiple things, multiple players, multiple things that happened, but man, that changed the complexion of the game moving forward. You know what I mean? Especially where we were anemic basically on offense. That was about as tough as it gets.
Absolutely. So I guess I don't know, guys.
I love you guys. I'll be back next week. I'm going to watch the game.
We're not going to stop doing the podcast. We've done it through thick and thin already, and we're just going to keep doing that. But these therapy sessions are important, so we're glad you guys tune in. Yeah. It's free, obviously.
I might have to go get a psychiatrist or something, I might have to pay somebody to
we might need to bring an actual trained person on the show.
That would be sweet. That'd be maybe so sweet, bro. That would help a lot with this part.
Oh, man. All right. Well, guys, just hang in there. We've got the Commanders coming up since I got the sicko at home and not going to be on vacation, so we'll do a preview show.
Oh yeah,
later this week probably. Get in the Discord, join thedawgs.com, jump in there, talk to us, give us your thoughts. We'll do that probably Thursday night like normal. And then we'll watch the game on Sunday. Yeah, we'll be back live again on Monday. Oh. And until then, I guess watch the Indians or the Guardians.
Yes. Cavs basketball in 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's not all bleak and
Stop! I'm just kidding. I love these. I love all Cleveland teams.
No, and that's the thing. Like, we love the Browns, and obviously we're just passionate. Like, we're super pissed off.
I hate this
because we just want them to win.
Yeah,
and we know that what they're putting on the field. I mean, it's just like with your kid. Like, that your kid can do better at something, or he does something wrong. So you can be better than this. And it's just so frustrating.
Draw on my walls with Sharpie.
Like, you're not fucking supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to have a Sharpie. Where did that come from? Oh, that's my Sharpie. Dang it. This is all my fault.
Comes from the top down, right?
That's right.
Looking at you.
Look at that. Look at that.
I tell you what, if there's one thing to put a little bit of faith in, Kevin Stefanski has turned around really bad situations before, but this one is going to be his most challenging situation to turn around. I will say that. Because honestly,
there's a lot going on.
He is on the hot seat, I think. 1-5. We go 1-6, lose, and we're completely out of everything. I just don't know, man. It's the NFL. It's not for long. And things happen fast.
This is the easy stretch.
Yeah.
This is where we are looking. And I know people said, oh, hey, this game might not be a gimme. Hey, these teams might be improved. I don't know how we go into the rest of the schedule where we have the Chiefs. We have to play the Ravens twice. We have to play the Steelers twice. We haven't played
a single divisional game yet.
Thank God, right? Let's get it figured out.
We were supposed to be, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. We're regressing back down the depression and, yuck. So, Ara in the chat says Chubb is back. I guess we can mention that real quick.
Yes. Practice window open.
Practice window's open, and they did say that they're expecting him to practice on Wednesday. So when I originally saw this, it was that the practice window was open, and everybody's like, "Yay, he's back!" I'm like, "Calm down. It just means that he's got 3 weeks in which he can come back to practice."
I did. So I was listening to I can't remember who it was this morning, but Grossi said he's probably going to need all 3 weeks, just to get in game
I'm
shape.
trying to get people to understand that.
This isn't like practice Wednesday, Thursday.
And he's playing the Commanders.
You're in, you know what I mean? Like, I think that he's going to use every bit of that 21-day window. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. So he's got 20, and even say it's 3 weeks for him to start practicing. That's the window. So, I mean, he could start practicing in 3 weeks, not this week.
Right.
I did see that. I'm pretty sure the quote Kevin said was they expect Chubb to be at practice on Wednesday.
Yep.
So once he does start practicing, so the second he actually participates in a practice, now that 3 week practice window is gone. Now it's 5 week window for the team to actually activate him to the active roster. So there's an 8 week stretch here that it could play out. If he starts practicing on Wednesday, it turns into a 5 week. I expect it to take the full amount of whatever that situation is, either 8 or 5. So I'm with you. I'm with Grossi on that.
It's not going to be. He's not going to be out there against Washington.
No, and when he does come, I mean, I love him. I just want people to temper their expectations. Like it's going to be split. I don't think he even gets 50% of the workload. I think it's going to be more like 30, at least for the first handful of games. And if this offensive line, I mean, come on, what do we really expect him to be able to come back and do?
Very positive show today. Very, very positive.
I know.
Well, I love you guys, and I look forward to talking to you real soon on Thursday about what we can do to win this Washington Commanders game.
Absolutely. Yep. So if you're in the Dog Pack, we will be live with you guys in Discord Thursday night. And then if you're not in there, obviously the preview episode will come out on Friday. I'm sure it will also be full of positivity and nothing negative. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. And until we see you guys next.
Go, Brad.